Just happened. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. Was it yesterday? Jadeveon Clowney
Yesterday.
signs with Cleveland. Yep. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
So I think what they're giving him, $10 million, 1 year, $10 million?
Well, that's $10 million, and I'm.
But is it incentive based or whatever?
Probably monster incentive laden. Like he probably has to be defensive player of the year, have 17 starts. Like it's probably more of a $4 or $5 million salary. I'm guessing totally, but
so for that, I think it's a win-win for the Browns. I think we talked when J.J. Watt went to the Cardinals, or when J.J. Watt was a free agent going somewhere else. We need him to be just one of the guys and not the man.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Clowney is now. I think Clowney has to be one of the guys, and you put him with one of the best defensive ends in the league with Myles Garrett. So the Browns have a pretty good team. I know you're not as high as I am.
I'm high on the team. I'm high on a team. I'm not high on Baker Mayfield.
Okay. So you put him on the other side of Myles Garrett. They got a pretty good defensive line. They got a pretty good secondary. They do play in a tough division. But listen, $5-6 million, what the hell do you got to lose? You got the money to spend. Now maybe your draft's different. Who knows? I don't know what their plan was.
That may be the case.
I don't know. But listen, if you're not paying him a lot of money, listen, there's not much fanfare on it anymore because we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Jadeveon Clowney isn't the same guy, and maybe he never was the expectation guy.
I was just going to say, I personally don't think he ever was. I think he's a bust might be strong because he is still a viable player in the league, but not even in the stratosphere of a number one pick and not what he was supposed to be and was hoped to be. To me, this is a nothing. This is a waste of money to me.
You do? Okay.
I think it's a total waste of money. I don't think they're any better. And he can sit there and say, because in his interview at the signing, he was like, "I'd be nice to get single teamed for once." Well, he got He got single teamed when he was with Houston, with J.J. Watt there, and the most sacks he ever had was 9, and that's going back 3-4 years. Never had double digit sacks.
Younger.
And I'm gonna throw some numbers out at you just to, paint a better picture here. In the last 3 seasons, he's played, if you go back and work your way forward, 14, 11, and 8 games. So 3 years ago, he played 14. He's only played 16 games once. He's only played a full season once. 14, 11 with Seattle and 8 last year with Tennessee. How about sacks? He had 9 3 years ago. Hey, 9's nothing to sneeze at. That's a decent season, right? It ain't great. It's not elite, but it's nothing to sneeze at. He was
also in his 20s probably at that point too, right?
I think he's still actually in his 20s, but upper 20s. He's only been in the league for 7 years. But he had 9 3 years ago. And you're like, okay, not bad. 2 years ago, he had 3 with Seattle. Last year, zilch. Last year, dude, he had 16 solo tackles. 16.
Wow.
Like, you got linebackers who have over 100 tackles. Now, it's a different position, don't get me wrong, but 16 tackles. I think he had 9 assists. So he was part of 25 tackles last year. In 8 games, you were a piece of 25 tackles? Now,
makes a lot of sense why the Titans weren't very good on defense.
Well, to your point, I'll give him this. Like you just said, you got who's the defensive end?
Myles Garrett.
You got Garrett on the other side, so that's certainly going to help. I would expect his production to go up a little bit.
A little bit, for sure. Yeah.
But what's he going to give you? Because I just look at 0 sacks. 0 sacks. You got defensive tackles whose only job is to clog the defensive line. Like, they stumble into a sack here and there. Like, most every defensive lineman has 1 sack. Like, you didn't even get a sack.
More than 16 tackles.
Yeah, you didn't get a sack by accident. Like a guy just tripped and you touch it. Like, you didn't get a single sack. You're a defensive end. You're Jadeveon Clowney, number 1 pick in a draft 7 years ago. You don't got a single sack. Like, I just think this is nothing. And so I'll put it to you this way too. I think you're signing a name, because if I read you his stat line. And I just said,
I would agree. I would agree with that.
I said Tom Jones with these stats. Would you have signed him?
Right.
You're not signing him. No. You wouldn't be doing that. So
but
I gotta be honest with you. I'd be hard pressed to sign him for $1 million because I just don't see the value. And he doesn't play. He's always hurt.
The Browns are about signing the name. I think you put him with he had no one on the other side of him with the Titans last year. And if he gives you anything, and I think motivation is going to be a big thing.
You would have thought that last year too, though. Now he's on a 1-year contract last year on a playoff team.
Well, Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I gotta be honest. I don't think he's unmotivated. I actually think he has a decent motor because even when he's not getting sacks, he plays the run relatively well. I just think I think he's one of those guys that either gets banged up easy or doesn't have a high pain tolerance or whatever the deal is. He's not available. He's just unavailable. And when he's banged up, he's extra unavailable. And I don't know. Just doesn't do it for me, man. There's a reason nobody else signed him up to this point. And so,
they might be thinking whatever they give him is gravy, icing on the cake, whatever the old saying is. I mean, that's really what it is, honestly.
Yeah. And because
if he goes down, they're not going to miss him.
No,
no. It's just like so.
And it probably, I'm saying $5 million. That probably is even high. It's probably his base salary is probably around $2 million.
3?
Yeah, 2-3 million, and then it's all incentive laden. How many games, how many sacks, all that kind of stuff. So
Pro Bowl or all pro, whatever the hell it is, you add it up.
Yeah,
playoff
absolutely.
appearance,
which most of that stuff is not going to get reached. So I mean, I get it, and having a quarterback on a rookie salary, we've talked about this. There's a recipe for winning Super Bowls, and it's a veteran quarterback who's taken a team-friendly salary, a la Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Or
Russell Wilson.
Well, Russell Wilson was on his rookie contract, or a guy who's still on his rookie contract. Like, and Baker's still on his rookie contract. So you can have 2 quality tight ends. You can have you could throw a couple $1 million at Jadeveon Clowney and
the diva wide receiver, the 2 running backs. Yeah, you got all that stuff.
So, for that part of it, like whatever. I'm not saying it's stupid. I just don't think it's anything. I don't think it's much of anything. And to your point, if you get anything, it's bonus.
That's it.
But I just think, if we're going to talk the Browns, man, they got some real holes in the secondary. Like, they got real serious holes in the secondary in a passing league. I don't know. I hear people talking like they're the favorites to win their division. I'm like,
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, can we slow down? The Steelers, whatever happened at the end of the season, they did start 11-0. There is still a team called Baltimore Ravens who has a league MVP as their quarterback, and they are really good in the draft, and they're really good with, playing defense. Like, could we just slow down just a little bit? Like,